What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody is having a great hump day. We halfway through this week. I hope everybody's having a pleasant time so far. I definitely am. Tonight we have a couple of amazing gentlemen who I am personally a big fan of. Um, these two R&B artists, man, these silky smooth vocals, man. I'm So Alone is still my joint. I'm so excited to talk to these two young men, Mr. Jason Champion and Mr. Dave Tolliver. These are the men of Men at Large, and we're just gonna chop it up with them for a few, and just kind of get the who's, what's, where's, and whys of what they do, and kind of get their, how they feel about the state of R&B music and music as a whole, and just a few things. For those of you who may not be familiar with these guys, I'm going to give them a moment to kind of reintroduce themselves and just give a little background to who they are and some of the things that they have going on.
Go
So
ahead,
with
Jay.
that being said, you have the floor, gentlemen.
Well, if
Go
they
ahead.
don't know who we are, I guess Google is always
A
the
viable
place to go
option.
to. Viable option. Thank you. But we've been doing this, man, for 30 years. We have been singing together for 30 years. We've got over 5 records between the two of us, and along with the our other member who has passed away, Gemini Porter. And so we just, man, we've been trying to make great music for a little over 3 decades now, and we just
Mm,
released another album in June of 2022.
yeah.
That is probably our best offering. It's entitled Love Benefits. It's filled with uh, basically an ode to just good R&B music. Like we like to say, we're trying to bring the love back. When you look on television, I thought about this yesterday. I was talking to my wife, and we were watching. I forgot what we were watching, but remember back in the day when sitcoms and television shows were they were much lighter in nature.
What man?
Right.
They were about family things. They were about songs were about love and relationships. And if you pay attention to what's on television now, especially what's popular, it's always centered around some sort of infidelity, some sort of alcohol, sex, raved. It's all about who's cheating, who's sleeping with who. And so we're trying to do our part, man, to bring the love back, genuine love back into the music, where guys were singing to their women, singing about, forgive me, I want you back, I want to take care of you, or whatever. And that's what we're here to do, man. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we're trying to maintain a standard of today.
Facts.
That's amazing.
I
That
couldn't
is
have put it better if I said it myself, man.
so. Where do we start? Where did Men at Large start? What's the beginning? Like, how did this come
Cle-
together?
Cleveland, Ohio, man. Us going around about every festival, talent show you could think of, singing until we got discovered by Gerald Levert, which was 1986. We were at the time, I was working in radio. My uncle slash, who was like my dad, he had me working at the radio station in Cleveland at WZAK, and one of the disc jockeys, he was a singer as well, and he had a concert that night, and so he had an after party at his house. Long story short, we went there, we sang. Gerald came by, and we used to always roll around. He had this Casio keyboard that we had tape on the back with the batteries, and they was like sing, sing, sing. So we got the keyboard out the car. We sang for Gerald, and he was like, this was 1986. He was like, yo, I'm gonna hook y'all up. We ain't see him again for like 3 years. It was like 89. I was working with this rap group called Johnny O and the Sorcerer Crew. If you familiar with the Nerve DJs, that's Johnny O, uh, It was his group, and I saw Gerald coming out the studio because me and my other guy, were dancing background dancing for them, and he was like, "Yo, I got this idea for three big dudes that could dance, that could sing, that could da 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 da." And next thing you know, we were at the studio auditioning. We were singing. There was Steve from Troop was there, all the Rude Boys, Gerald. Then we had to come back and sing for his dad. When his dad gave us the thumbs up, that's when we started the process. And that was probably roughly about 1990. After that, our first single, "Use Me," came out May of '92.
Now this is gonna sound like a silly question, but like,
I'm
were
sure.
you ready? Did you fit at that point? Were you ready?
Well, they wasn't having that, first and foremost. Like
Absolutely. Yeah,
they
absolutely.
they were Gerald and Eddie wasn't having
Absolutely.
that. And we used to practice like about 9 to 11 hours a day at the studio
Wow.
before we even started. Like really, really 9 to 11 hours a day. Um, and they would come in there and they would check us out and see what we were doing. They'd be like, "That's bullshit, man. You can't do it like that. You got to do it like this." And it was such a, at the time, I know for me, I didn't realize that we were just sitting in a cesspool of greatness. To kind of cancel it out, cesspool and greatness really don't go together. But we
Right.
were sitting in a bathhouse, if you will, of greatness, and we were getting that tutelage for free and under studying under two of, I don't even want to say arguably, but two of the greatest entertainers to ever touch the face of this earth. And we still got one of them, to ever touch the stage or a microphone. And I didn't realize what we had, and we were ready. Well, we were ready when we came out. We were ready. They made
So
sure we
basically,
were
what you're
ready.
saying that if you weren't ready, they made you, they got you ready.
Yeah, they wasn't playing, man. They wasn't playing, man. They
Absolutely.
they were they were serious about the artist development, about the songs, your look, everything. They were serious about it. They wasn't playing, man. It was a little Motown in the heart of Cleveland.
That's an interesting point that you brought up about artist development. I think I heard Lil Bow Wow say just the other day, um, that artist development is missing in today's music. Um, what what do you attribute that to? Like, what happened to artist development? Like, why did that go away?
Uh,
Um,
I don't know that anybody knows the definite answer, but I think there's many things that sort of attribute it
it take all
to
day.
artist development going away. Um, you just you got a bunch of people in places that back in the day it was sort of a team, a conglomerate of people that they cared about, the different the different categories or branches of the entertainment business. Developing an artist, A&Ring a project. Making sure you found good songs. Today, especially with social media, people don't care about that. They just want a quick, fast streaming hit that doesn't require much of any of that, stuff that we put into it. So all of those pieces together, I think that nobody really they don't care
Yeah,
about that like they
the
used to.
whole I think the whole chain of the circle, the whole chain has been it's been kind of dented up. The chain, the links are messed up. From the radio stations will just play anything, the artists will just do anything, and it seems like now the fans will accept anything. What happened? I don't know what happened, but I know it was a plan, and I won't get into that part, but I know it was a plan from, you know what I'm saying. It definitely was a plan. Um, when you look at, especially when you look at the urban artists as opposed to the white artists. Let's just keep it a buck. When you look at the urban artists, you might have one or two that are totally all together, and that'll make it to the top, but then they have all these issues. Then you over here to the white artists, and every last one of them you see got a show, got a presentation, got substance in their songs. It's kind of crazy, just to think, because I know that we all aren't cut like that, but there is a plethora of artists that you have to just go digging for yourself. And like Spotify, Tidal, and all these different platforms. Like shout out to my girl, Karita Montez Miller. I'm great to do a podcast with her called Streaming on All Platforms, where we expose up and coming artists that have really great music, all genres. But you might not have necessarily heard from them, and they got a small following so far, but they out there. You know, like music business now is just like you going to a place and just getting you a crab. Just let me get the one. Ain't no difference in it. Just give me one. It's nothing special about a bunch of these cats. It's so oversaturated. And I tell people the game now, to me, it's like, back in the day in high school, only the elite cats used to get a Letterman jacket. Now everybody get to play and everybody get a jacket. Now that's what the game is like. Now it's not special anymore. It's not elite. It's not talent filled. I mean, so
Wow. So at this, so with this understanding, especially being elder statesmen, the elder statesmen that you guys are,
damn.
is it a challenge for you to chase a sound? Because you look at some of your counterparts, your younger counterparts, or even some of your contemporary, even some of the people that you came up with, kind of like changing their whole style up to match what's going on right now. Like, how much of a challenge is it for you not to kind of go with the stat quo?
I think for us, when people look at us anyway, they attribute us to Gerald and Eddie. They know 90s, but they think, that we came out around the same time as Gerald and them, and then we have to kind of break it down. So I don't think that they expect anything else from us. I know for a fact with this new album, we kind of sat back and we let Jason's brother Jay Sean navigate the whole thing, from the writing to the arrangement to the melodies, everything, same thing. And we didn't change, but it was a refreshing sound to the point where if you're 18, 19, 25, 30 and you hear it, you could be like, oh, I F with that. But our fans be like, oh wow, man, they ain't lost it. They sound amazing. They sound fresh. Like they got a new start. Like he got a new hip. He walking good again. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's funny to me, like the guys or not just the guys, the people that really, like, I was watching some of you guys' most recent live performances, and it's very rare that you have artists that sound as good as or better than the record. You guys sound better than the record.
It's amazing, ain't it?
You know what I'm saying? And
that's ancient Chinese secret.
but it seems like that in this era, that seems like it's a weakness. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever, and I guess to kind of go along with the whole chasing a sound question, like, do you have to kind of like scale back your skills a little bit? Maybe not do as many runs, maybe scale back on the harmonies. Like what? Like, how does that work?
I heard that we should. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say we don't concern ourselves with any of that, man.
Nah, man.
We are singers and we go out there and we try to make the best possible record, the best possible sound. We try to stay current as far as even though we're elder statesmen, there's some younger cats that are out that we glean from. We listen to Zacardi Cortez. We listen to
oh my God,
Daryl Walls. We listen to even Chris Brown. He can offer.
I love Chris
these
Breezy.
young Joe Tom. We go out there to sing, man. We don't have a formula. We don't look for a formula. We ain't trying to go viral for the sake of going viral. If it happens because of something that we organically did or authentically did, that's cool. But we're not looking for that at all. And that's not what you're going to get from us. So we ain't scaling back. We ain't putting on. We ain't trying to figure out the best. We just going out there, grabbing that microphone. Like Gerald used to say, go to the mic and do what we do. That's it.
Go to the mic.
That's
Go to the mic, man. I remember that. Go to the mic, man.
Go to the mic and do what
Go
you
to the
do.
Yeah, go to the mic, man.
how
It was
how
out.
did how did the untimely demise of Gerald Levert affect you guys, at if at all? How did it affect you as a unit?
Well,
Go ahead, Dave.
during that time we were apart. He was doing his gospel thing, and I was with our other member. I know for me personally, man, it rocked my world, man. I just couldn't believe it because I was with him 2 weeks before that, and we were sitting down
Mm,
backstage at a show, and for some reason, people always like to start stuff between us. We created our own little problems or little the bumps in the road with him, and vice versa. But it was always somebody trying to start some shit all the time. And then I found out after a while, after he had passed away, I found out about it was somebody in his camp, and that's what broke my heart even more. Um, we were sitting down, man, because somebody had started some mess, and it was a female. It was always some female drama, and we got to sit down and we really talked. And he looked me in my eye and he was like, "Man," I was like, "Gee." I said, "Man, the only thing I said, man, is that I love you and I miss you, man. I just want us to get back and start working together again." And he said, man, he was all sweaty and wet, and he looked at me. He said, "Man, I'm tired. I'm tired of all this shit." He
mm,
went out. He went out. We went out. We killed. He went out. He killed. 2 weeks later, he was gone.
wow.
That knocked me off my feet, B. Because for me during that, it was so much, man. It knocked me off my feet. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, because I could go. I don't want to go too long. Go ahead.
I mean, pretty much. I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. I was like Dave said. I was pursuing. I hadn't started to work on any gospel music, solo gospel music. I was just when I left. The reason I left is because I felt like the Lord had called me to a different life, and so ministry and just not even singing, just
Food
getting
service.
somewhere and getting somewhere and sitting down and honing my relationship with the Lord. And so when he passed away, man, I was married, had 2 kids, and life looked a lot different from when he was alive. And so going back to Men at Large and doing Men at Large, I had never even considered that I would
Yeah,
because
we
he
both
called
was
me out
there.
of it. So I figured, he called me out of it. I'm gonna be out of it forever, but I'll always have this magical connection and this magical thing that we did. We made history together. So when Gerald died, naturally, uh, it just left a hole in your heart because he was such a viable, such a intricate. He was the reason why millions of people around the world still call us to come do shows. Gerald Levert did that. He did that. And so I still don't listen to his music. Every now and again, maybe around his birthday, once every year, I'll pull out some Gerald, but I can't listen to it too long because I remember standing in the wings of the concert off to the side of the
Oh
stage.
man, man, come
I
on, talk
remember
about it.
watching him do
Talk
his
about it.
thing and standing over there like, I get to stand here and watch this cat, and then I get to go out here and sing with this, and then we get to go and rehearse and go to his house. Man, I was living on such a cloud back there. You got to remember, I was 18. This was
Right.
like my big brother. I had both my big brothers, and we got a chance to do it with arguably one of the greatest entertainers in R&B soul music ever. So, like Dave said, it was devastating, man. I still miss him today. I wish he was here. I wish he could
Man,
see our
our
progression.
growth.
I wish he could
Mm-hmm.
see and hear this album that we did, but
Man,
I do feel like from the start of the recording process, I felt like he was with us, and I'm not making that up like some sort of. I really felt like he was with us, man. And there's a story that I'll let Dave tell you that led me to believe Gerald is here. He is definitely here with us, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So, or I guess you're waiting on the story. So the very first day we went back into the studio, Jay Sean, Jason's brother, who was, like I say, the orchestrator for this whole project, birthday the same day as Gerald. So we in the studio on Gerald's birthday of July of 2021. So we in there cutting this record, and then Jason goes, he said, man, last time when we were younger, Jason would say, man, I feel like God is doing this and doing that. Da, 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 da. I'd be like, all right, man, when you stay here with Jesus, I'm gonna go and do this here, man. You got that. And something bad would happen. And I said, but through my growth and my life stories and my life ups and downs, you learn about the power of God, man, and how to lean on that energy and not take it for granted, and to pay
Right.
attention and respect
Right.
it when it's sitting in your lap, man. You don't just tell her get off, and you pay attention and respect it. And so he says, I feel Gerald's spirit in here, and he go into his pastor voice, like he said, when the Lord called me, he's noticed when he said, when the Lord called me out, his voice changed. It had a different inflection. When the Lord called me out, yeah. So he was like, man, I really feel like Gerald is in the building, and I feel his spirit, and God has put us back together for it's not because we're great at doing music, but God put us back together because we're supposed to be doing this. There's something bigger than the music that we're supposed to be doing. Da, 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 da. And so after that, I was like, I'm with you this time. I trust you. I'm with you, man. I said, yeah, I got you. And the engineer said, hey, guys, I don't know if you know, but, normally guys come over here and they send titles on top of the tracks and this, that, and the third. I think we were talking about titles for the project and stuff like that too. And he said, there's no
What was the
title.
name of this?
Go ahead.
No,
Huh?
I was just agreeing with what you said. He
Right.
was saying that there's no title to this record. Yeah.
Right. And he said there's no title, but the only thing that's on there is just 7. And he said it like this, but just 713. And we looked like literally, we looked at each other and was like, yo, it was meant to be.
Wow.
What are the odds of us, the very first song that we decided to do after 25 plus years of being in the studio together on July 13th, which is Gerald's birthday, my brother's birthday, the guy we got the track from, he didn't call it anything. And of all of the things that he labeled the record, he labeled it 713 on the
713.
day on 713. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's undeniable, man. You can't deny that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So can I call you Jason?
Yeah.
Call him,
Okay,
call him Pap
Jason.
Smear.
I don't want to take
Oh,
nothing for
my
granted, for real.
Call him Pappy.
Speaking of your whole spiritual journey,
Yeah.
that must have presented an interesting situation for you. How easy or how difficult was it for you to navigate your spiritual journey versus this men at large thing
Carnal
that
journey.
not only not only have you mastered it, but it also feeds you too. So like, how are you able to navigate, this whole dynamic? What is that like for you?
So remember, Dave told you that one day I was calling him to tell him I was quitting the group. And he was calling me to tell me he wanted to go solo.
Mm,
And it just so happened that we both were on the same page, but just different. We had different journeys. And so when the Lord called me out of, Men at Large, when God called me, it wasn't a matter of trying to navigate through the spiritual waters because I grew up in church. It was just more a thing of building my relationship with Christ. It wasn't, well, now that you back with Jesus, you can't do this and you can't do this. That's what I thought it was.
right.
When he called me out of Men at Large, I'm like, well, that's over. I heard him say it. So never in a million years thinking he will send me back. But sometimes God will call you out of something because he wants to He wants to grow you. He wants to mature you. He wants to deposit things in you. And it wasn't really a difficult thing. Even now, being back, it's no more difficult than it's not difficult. It's not difficult. The things that are difficult are the trappings and the temptations that the world has to offer, but they're there anyway. They're there anyway. You know, big
Yeah,
booties, big booty women.
titties.
They're everywhere you go. It doesn't matter whether I'm saved or not. That's just there.
Right.
And so you have to learn how to. There's a scripture. I forget exactly where it is, but there's a scripture that says that a man who cannot control himself is like a city with no walls.
Mm.
And so I refer to that quite often, man. If you can't control yourself, I struggle with obesity. It is something that I fight and am fighting. Whether it's obesity, whether it's lust, whether it's alcoholism, you've got to learn how to temper and control your appetites. Otherwise, you're like a city with no walls. And we know what a city without walls is. Anything can get in and anything can get out. So you don't have any security. You have no security because you're left unprotected. And so my fight now is to just try to temper my temptations and my appetites, man, because they are a mother frick.
I got you. So, Dave, the same
What,
question for
man?
you. Like, how was it for you to hear Jason come to you and say, "Hey, God has called me to do"?
He
You know,
told
what
me.
was your first thought? Like, were you like, "Oh man, this dude"? Like, what was your?
I told him it was over. Nah. The one
Did
thing I
you?
did know is that you
So
can't fight God,
there was
man.
no
When it when
animosity
it when it when it when it
or
captures
anything.
you and it engulfs you.
Okay, it's
I
pretty.
told him it was over. Let me tell you the story. We were doing the Let's Talk About It video, and if you seen that video, it was just me, him, the road manager. I'm freezing.
You were.
Damn.
So what he was saying was we were doing
Hmm.
the Let's Talk About It video, and it was basically just a bunch of debauchery, just us and some very pretty girls dancing
Right.
and twerking and all of that kind of thing. And we were in the dressing in the RV, where you wait in between scenes. And we were in there. A bunch of the girls from the video they were in there. We were smoking weed, just acting a fool, getting high, enjoying ourselves. And go ahead,
Man,
Dave. I'm at the part where we were smoking weed, just chopping it up in the trailer, and then what happened?
man, I hope he set it up right. I trust him.
No,
Man,
yeah,
we
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
we getting higher than
I told
high,
him.
man.
I
Yeah,
told
I
him.
know. Let me just tag. I'm taking the baton. I'm running the rest of the 100. So we getting high as hell, man. And I'm saying, what we think. The girls is the lights is dimming, it's smoke filled, and the girls you see in the video, they have them the little shorty dresses with the little shorts, man. They was sitting there, legs open. It was a choose night. It was like chose to be chose. You know what I'm talking about? And so this nigga, I give him the blunt. He go, and God said that in the middle of the wheel, that it'll come down here and it'll do all this and that. Dog, he went into a complete TD Jakes, Bishop Paul Morton, Marvin Wine sermon. I mean, and man, listen, I'm telling you, the lights started to come up. I'm telling you, this I visualized all this. The lights started to come up, the smoke started to clear, and the girls start closing their legs and pulling them skirts down over their knees. And I
Wow.
walked over to him and I said, this it, man. This our last album, dog. This it. And it was until last year. Yo, I'm telling you,
Wow.
like I still, it's crazy that we've been doing this for 32 to 30 to 1992, 31 years, going on 32 years, and it's a lot of things that I can't pull into focus. I'm writing my book, so as I'm writing, things are coming to me as I'm writing. So I guess it's unlocking trauma. But that right there, I remember vividly.
I
Wow.
do too.
Passing him the
I do
blunt
too.
and him going, and
I do
God
too.
said that in the middle of the wheel that yea, who will bow down and every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. Yeah. I mean, he had it in his hand. He was gone doing his thing. And I was like, that's it, bro. It's over. We probably did, that was what, 94. We probably did some more things for probably like another couple years, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't, and it probably, and we probably never said this, it probably was him fighting it, but he probably was uncomfortable with the whole walk where we was at, but we was rolling. Like it was high times, we was rolling. And I think one of the things that probably helped facilitate his walk was that the label was going through a merger, and stuff was kind of off with the sales and all the different stuff. I just remember just keeping track of all that, and that was it. And then it led up to that phone call. That's gonna be good for the movie, Minute Large, the movie.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
keep putting it out there. We gonna get it. And every time I put those videos up, people say, "Man, y'all doing a movie for real?" I'll be like, "Yep, we are."
Wow.
It's a
That's
great
Manifest.
amazing.
story.
Manifest.
It's a great story because you know if we were right and we had the same success we had, we wouldn't have any issues. Period. One thing I know about the white people are they're loyal to their fans, man. They're loyal to their groups and to their artists and to their, people that probably did a half or less, way less we did. They go and pack out the arenas. But our black fans, they always got to taste test shit before they go and see if it. I don't know. I ain't seen them in a while, man. Can they still sing? I know they both think got bigger, this, that, and the third. One of them injured, hurt now. I don't know. They gonna be able to put on the show like they used to. Do are you doing your wife the same way 30 years later? Are you still running up and down the same? Yeah, it's very few people that's doing the same thing 30 years later. But I tell you this though, and I guarantee you, minus all the dance and all that extra shit, it ain't many groups from our era or before that could touch us. And I put your bank account on it.
Wow. Listen,
Not
like I
vocally,
said,
not
man,
vocally.
I have listened to some of your recent shows and stuff like that. Listen, listen, you are still, like I said, you sound as good as, if not better, than the recordings.
Appreciate that.
Still, I've
It
heard
was it was
people
supposed to be.
claim that, some of the more the older artists, they'll say, I'm still doing it. I'm just like what Dave was saying. I'm just as good as anybody as I ever was, and I can stick with anybody. But honestly, they really can't.
Nights like this, I wish.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. But
Yo,
you guys really represent pure talent. Like you guys are truly, truly, truly gifted, man. And I'm listen. I'm fanning out. I'm honored. I am
I'm gonna tell you
truly,
like this.
truly
They can
honored.
Appreciate it, man.
they can say what they want about us, about the aesthetics. I tell them, meet us at the mic. Meet us there. Meet us at the mic. We a cold ass tag team. We cold. I'm Dusty Rhodes and he I don't know. he Ric Flair. He Ric Flair and I'm Dusty Rhodes. You wanna know something, Daddy?
Woo!
You wanna know something, Daddy? Man, we coming in there,
Woo!
we gonna take it all. You meet us at the mic, Daddy. Come on. Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Wow. Well, I don't want to hold you guys any longer. I just got a couple more questions for you, man,
Yeah.
and
Dinner
I'm
time.
gonna let y'all go. But at this present time, what is Jason listening to, and what is Dave listening to?
Right.
If I came to your house right now, like what would be playing? What would I be hearing?
Man, for me, I'm stuck. It's not like I just got hip to him, but I'm stuck on Zacardi Cortez right now, man.
Mm,
My family is sick of hearing Lord do it for me, work it out in any way. My daughter said for sure, but it has, recently I've been going through a few things and they've been like my meditation records, man. So I put them on when I go in the bathroom and I turn it on. Can I need you to do it right now? I'm gonna wait for the morning to do it, man. I'm just them songs like back like that, then work it out and then give them the praise anyway. Then I added YDIA, You Did It Again. It's like it's a dope playlist. I'm gonna tell you like this. I've learned a lot of music, like of some new people from my daughter. Her like she kind of like I didn't really put the mic in the crib, but I had a couple things that might have reminded her what music was like or what it is. And her ear and just the exposure, but they got so many, it's so much exposure. Like we only got it a certain way, so they get the music through a whole bunch of different pipelines, and it's accessible. We had to get our asses up, go to the record store, buy it, and we couldn't buy but one because it was like $15 for the album. Who doing that? And it went, yeah, I just bought 20 albums, son. They didn't kill the game with that. Now you got
Right.
access to every single record on the planet for
Yeah.
$9.95. They killed us. They killed it. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody saying like that. We need to do a strike over here with the music.
Right.
Yes, we do.
So
Yes, we do.
we need to do
Yes,
it.
we do.
Everybody ain't gonna do it, but we need to do a strike from the top to the bottom. It need to be a strike over here with us too, because there is no fair pay for what we're doing. Are you kidding me? You getting less than a cent
Right.
per stream, Black.
Right.
It's ridiculous. But for me, that's number one in my house right now is Zacardi Cortez, and whoever my daughter makes me, Dad, you need to listen to this, Dad, you need to listen to that, whoever she has me listening to. So yeah, but
Okay.
Zacardi all day. Smear.
Man, I've been listening to Tony Bennett. I've been listening to Bobby McFerrin,
Oh,
and
don't
I've been
worry, be
listening
happy, man.
to not that one,
Classic.
not that one.
He been
And I've
listening
been
to
listening.
he been listening to Bobby Flay too.
I've been listening to Bobby McFerrin, Bobby McFerrin, Tony Bennett, and this guy named William McDowell, who has
Yes,
been
sir.
around a long time. I typically didn't find myself listening to him, but man, he's got some worship music that is just absolutely incredible. So I've been listening to William McDowell.
That's dope. That's
Absolutely.
dope.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
this is my last official question for you guys. Like I said, I don't want to hold you up. It's a question that I ask every guest that I have on here. So I just want you to take a moment, think about it, and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can give me, okay?
Uh-oh.
So here's the question. What would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically?
That's a good question. That's nice.
Oh man.
That's a good question. And most people would say something financial, but I think for me right now, I'm gonna keep it a buck, transparent. It's so much shit on my plate, man. Physically, financially, emotionally, family wise. Um, Being able to um, just get up every day and know for a fact that everything's gonna be all right, and knowing that you have no control over that. That at this point, because I've had money, I still get money. You know, that peace of mind, knowing that you don't have to worry when you go to bed, that you might not wake up the next day. You don't have to worry that that your kids are okay and you're gonna be able to take care, you're gonna be around for the next 15, 20 years. And there's a guarantee. Having guarantees on things that you can't control, uh, that's impossible success. It's impossible. My success is impossible because like I tell you, my plate is filled so high with obstacles and obstructions and bullshit right now. But I get through it. I maintain. I lean on my father, and I lean on that, and I make it. You know what I mean? So I guess that is success, to be able to walk through it and not necessarily come through unscathed, but just to be able to walk through it and stand through it and say, I made it. I made it again. I made it. I made it again. I made it again. And that's where I'm at right now for me. I probably
Okay.
could get, that's where I'm at right now for me. You know what I mean? And being on a 275 city tour with that dude over there,
Wow.
nonstop. We sleeping out our bags. And Gerald came back. No, go ahead. Let me quit playing.
For me, man, success. What would it look like for me to be successful? Would be two things, and two things alone: conquering the battle of obesity and the changing the bloodline that my father, who also he couldn't conquer the battle of obesity, and it took him out early in his life. Being able to do that, being able to, I don't know Jason Champion without the obesity. I only know the obese Jason. I've had bouts here and there where I've been at a decent weight, but the majority of my life has always been heavier than I should be. So to be able to develop a relationship with myself without the obesity, man, that would be success. And then two, my relationship with the Lord, whereby the things that derail me now, the things that are that are strongholds and the things that trip me up would no longer trip me up, because like I said earlier, I would be that fortified city and my walls would be very high, and I would be secure, and I wouldn't allow things to get out, and I wouldn't allow things to get in, because I have that much self-control. Those would be my
He
two
gonna
areas
conquer.
where
He gonna conquer the obesity. I believe he will, man. We
Absolutely.
both have had our bouts with it. I once tipped the scales at like 525. I just stepped on the other day. It was like 300. So it just it's hard, man. And now I got to maintain it. But
Right.
he'll. I know he will. You know what I'm saying? Like you always tell me, you pray for me, brother. I always send them up for you too, fam. And I know that's weighing heavy on you, fam, because it's weighing. Trust me, it's weighing heavy on everybody around you because they talk about it. So
Absolutely.
we sending you love, we sending you blessings, we sending you prayers, we sending you enough power to fight off a 300-man army over there, my guy. I love you, man, and you gonna get it. We gonna get it.
Absolutely.
absolutely. Love you too, man.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all, man, for coming on the show, man. Like I said, I'm trying to keep my composure, so that
I
y'all
see
will
your
come
nipples
back.
got hard.
So, I appreciate you so much, man, for everything. Not just what you're doing today, but what you've done. One of my best friends, who he passed away a few years
Mm,
ago, he would sing your songs like he thought he was y'all.
mhm.
But I appreciate y'all for that. I appreciate y'all for the memories, because I can remember where I was at certain points. You guys are definitely a part of the soundtrack of my life.
There it
So
is. You
I
from New York, man?
definitely,
Where you from?
I'm from upstate New York.
Okay, that's what's up.
Um, but I want to thank you for your contributions then
Yeah,
and your contributions now, and
Yeah,
every
man.
and that dash in between.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you for that. Um, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you for whatever, how can they get in touch with you?
They can hit us up at the minute large, or for email the minute large at gmail.com. The men at large at gmail.com. If you just go online and just search minute large, you can find us. Or if they, you got my number, fam. If they want to, I'm glad you called, because was out cold. If they want to do some shows or any other, stuff like from this interview, you see it, just tell them to call you, and then you hit me up and we good. But at the men at large on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly Twitter, whatever it's called, and the men at large at gmail.com. The men at large at gmail.com. Or you can call Jason's phone. It's three no.
Well, Well, again, man, I truly appreciate you guys coming on, man. Like I said, you guys are still an influence on me and plenty of others who have listened to your music and continue to listen to your music. And we look forward to what your offerings in the future. And I wish y'all much blessings on everything,
man.
on your battles, and even on your successes, man. I trust and I pray that even in the things that you're being blessed in, that you continue to have the right mindset in order for it to be its most effective. The word tells us that, the presence of God gives us complete joy. So like without God's presence, even the things that we're happy about are not even as complete. We're not even as happy as we could be.
Yeah.
So I pray that even in those blessings that you have the mind of God, so that you can reach the fullest potential of whatever it is that you need to be.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
But again, I thank you. I appreciate.
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh,
Thanks
our
for having
pleasure,
us, brother.
man.
Anytime.
I wish you guys a great evening, man, and a great rest of the week, man. And I definitely want to have you guys on again.
Yeah,
anytime, man. Anytime.
All right. But y'all have a good night, man. And y'all take it easy.
You too, brother. All right, no doubt. Thanks, man. Peace. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys, man. Another great interview with another group of great guests. I gotta run. But I thank y'all for watching, man. And please encourage people to watch the playback. I'll see you guys later this week. I'm fanning out right now, man. These guys, listen, I'm gonna let that go for now. But you guys have a great night, man, and I'll holler at y'all later. All right, let's take a walk.